What is up, everybody? We're on day 162 of our Bible in a Year series, continuing on in Psalms today. And we're going to get to a pretty well known, pretty popular psalm. Maybe kind of break it down a little bit, discuss some of it. So it's a shorter one too. But let's get straight into it. Chapter 21. The Lord the King finds joy in your strength. How greatly he rejoices in your victory. You have given him his heart's desire and have not denied the request of his lips, for you meet him with rich blessings. You place a crown of pure gold on his head. He asked you for life, and you gave it to him, length of days forever and ever. His glory is great through your victory. You confer majesty and splendor on him. You give him blessings forever. You cheer him with joy in your presence. For the king relies on the Lord. Through the faithful love of the Most High, he is not shaken. Your hand will capture all your enemies. Your right hand will seize those who hate you. You will make them burn like a fiery furnace. When you appear, the Lord will engulf them in his wrath, and fire will devour them. You will wipe their progeny from the earth, and their offspring from the human race. Though they intend to harm you and devise a wicked plan, they will not prevail. Instead, you will put them to flight when you ready your bowstrings to shoot at them. Be exalted, Lord, in your strength. We will sing and praise your might. Chapter 22. My God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far from my deliverance and from my words of groaning? My God, I cry by day, but you do not answer. By night, yet I have no rest. But you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. Our ancestors trusted in you. They trusted and you rescued them. They cried to you and were set free. They trusted in you and were not disgraced. But I am a worm, I am not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by people. So before we continue on this, there are a couple things I want to bring up with this psalm. At the beginning, as I probably should have broken this down when we got to it. So at the beginning here, Psalm 22, this first part, the my God, why have you abandoned me? Or it's heard frequently. I know it. King James, a lot of verses that I've memorized in King James. But this is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now, you may recognize that from Jesus on the cross. This is what he cries out. Now, I think the actual main purpose for this, I think first of all, it would have been excruciating for Jesus to speak at all when he was on the cross. So every word, I think, is incredibly important. But think about, at the time, these Psalms were not together in a book like we have it now. They were not numbered like they are now. And so a lot of times when they were trying to, if a rabbi was trying to draw his students' attention to a psalm, if they were out, he would say the psalm that begins with, whatever. So, Jesus on the cross cries out the first line of this psalm, Elah, Elah, lama sabachthani. And my Greek is probably terrible. But, and the only reason I know that is because when you see it in the New Testament, it actually has the Greek there, and so I've heard it a lot and memorized it. But he's calling attention to this passage. There are a couple things I want to bring up. We could spend a lot of time just breaking down Psalm 22, and maybe we'll do that at some point. But there are a couple things I want to highlight, just kind of quickly going through here. And one of the first ones, the first one was that first line. The second one here is verse 6. But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by people. Interesting thing here is the It's called the crimson worm. Now, the crimson worm is where the priests in the Old Testament would get the red dye, which went on the garments that was supposed to be symbolic for the atonement sacrifice to atone for sins. This worm, it's this is crazy. Like I've looked this up a few times. First time I heard it, I thought it was just a preacher's story, not like 100% true. Maybe a little bit of truth to it, but not entirely. But I've gone and I've looked this up multiple different places, and from everything I can see, this is legitimate. This worm, I don't think it's actually a worm, it's a type of bug, but they call it a worm. Anyways, this worm, it attaches itself to a tree. When it attaches to a tree, then its children come, right? And this protective coating gets somehow a shell or something like that over the worm and the children, or the offspring. Now, the offspring then survive by eating the flesh of this worm. Then they go on and they end up leaving, and they go to reproduce or whatever. Well, the stain that is left on the tree is red from this worm. That's where it gets its name. But one of the cool parts, another cool part about this, is once that's all done and gone, these, like the husk or the shell or whatever of this worm that's left behind eventually turns white, pure white, and it will fall from the tree, and it's reported as looking like snow falling. Like there is so much of that screams of the crucifixion, the story of Jesus, communion, eating his flesh, drinking blood. We see with washing the white as snow. There's so much getting stuck to a tree. Like that's literally terminology used as getting like hanging from a tree. There's so much there. That's just it's awesome to see. Okay, continue. Verse 7. Everyone who sees me mocks me. They sneer and shake their heads. He relies on the Lord. Let him save him. Let the Lord rescue him, since he takes pleasure in him. It was you who brought me out of the womb, making me secure at my mother's breast. Now, with this is David writing. And this is David. He is writing, again, this is kind of poetic language, but he's writing about a situation in which he was in. I don't know if we know specifically what situation, but he's writing about a specific situation. But this is also prophetic of Jesus. Verse 10, I was given over to you at birth. You have been my God from my mother's womb. Don't be far from me, because distress is near and there's no one to help. Many bulls surround me. Strong ones of Bashan encircle me. They open their mouths against me. Lions mauling and roaring. I am poured out. Okay, so lions open their mouths against him. What would a lion do if it opened his mouth against you? It would bite you. It would pierce you. I am poured out like water. All my bones are disjointed. My heart is like wax melting within me. So this is an actual medical thing from what I've seen, where your heart kind of, essentially it melts, right? It just like breaks. But also this line about all my bones are disjointed, that is significant because, or not that, there's a line coming up. Well, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Verse 15, my strength is dried up like baked clay. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. You put me into the dust of death. So he would have been facing severe dehydration on the cross. Tongue sticks to the roof of his mouth. 16, for dogs have surrounded me. A gang of evildoers has closed in on me. They pierced my hands and my feet. Again, It's crucifixion. And this was written some like 700 years before crucifixion was thought of. Verse 17. I can count all my bones. People look and stare at me. So I can count all my bones. This is essentially saying that his bones are not going to be broken. This is extremely significant because a lot of people don't realize crucifixion itself was not actually intended to kill. It was intended to cause the most pain without actually killing you. But eventually, the guards would get tired of being there, and they would use the. This is going to be a little bit graphic, so if you have kids listening, you may want to wait and not let them hear this. But they would use their spears, and when you were crucified, as you're hanging there, you have to push up with your feet to be able to inhale. So they would use their spears, smack it against the shins of those being crucified to break their shins, and then they would suffocate. So, significance of this is that Jesus died before that happened. They did not have to break his bones. 18. They divided my garments among themselves, and they cast lots for my clothing. Again, they cast lots for his clothing. 19. But you, Lord, don't be far away. My strength, come quickly to help me. Rescue my life from the sword, my only life from the power of these dogs. Save me from the lion's mouth, from the horns of the wild oxen. You answer me. Or you answered me. I will proclaim your name to my brothers and sisters. I will praise you in the assembly. You who fear the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, honor him. All you descendants of Israel, revere him. For he has not despised or abhorred the torment of the oppressed. He did not hide his face from him, but listened when he cried to him for help. I will give praise in the great assembly. Because of you I will fulfill my vows before those who fear you. The humble will eat and be satisfied. Those who seek the Lord will praise him. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord. All the families of the nations will bow down before you. For kingship belongs to the Lord. He rules the nations. All who prosper on earth will eat and bow down. All those who go down to the dust will kneel before him. Even the one who cannot preserve his life. Their descendants will serve him. The next generation will be told about the Lord. They will come to declare his righteousness to a people yet to be born, and they will declare what he has done. Okay. Chapter 23. And this is a very, very popular psalm. There's probably people that will hear this that have it memorized. Again, I've got a good chunk of this memorized, but it's memorized in the King James Version. So, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd. I have what I need. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He renews my life. He leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even when I go through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Oh, only goodness and faithful love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord as long as I live. That's it. That's 23. And this is a lot about kind of an idea of peace when you're with God, or when God is with you, when you are kind of going through what he wants you to do. Even like the line, prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Well, preparing the table, it's saying like he's planning on sitting down and eating a meal. You don't do that if you're threatened. You sit down and eat a meal in places where you're comfortable, right? So it's kind of about that idea. Psalm 24. The earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants belong to the Lord, for he laid its foundations on the seas and established it on the rivers. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not appealed to what is false, and who is not sworn deceitfully. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Such is the generation of those who inquire of him, who seek the face of God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, your gates, rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of glory will come in. Who is this? King of glory, the Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, you gates. Rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of glory will come in. Who is he? This King of glory, the Lord of armies. He is the King of glory. 25. Lord, I appeal to you. My God, I trust in you. Do not let me be disgraced. Do not let my enemies gloat over me. No one who waits for me will be disgraced. Those who act treacherously without cause will be disgraced. Make your ways known to me, Lord. Teach me your paths. Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. I wait for you all day long. Remember, Lord, your compassion and your faithful love, for they have existed from antiquity. Do not remember the sins of my youth or my acts of rebellion. In keeping with your faithful love, remember me because of your goodness, Lord. The Lord is good and upright, therefore he shows sinners the way. He leads the humble in what is right and teaches them his way. All the Lord's ways show faithful love and truth to those who keep his covenant and decrees. Lord, for the sake of your name, forgive my iniquity, for it is immense. Who is this person who fears the Lord? He will show him the way he should choose. He will live a good life, and his descendants will inherit the land. The secret counsel of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he reveals his covenant to them. My eyes are always on the Lord, for he will put my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am alone, the afflicted. The distresses of my heart increase. Bring me out of my sufferings. Consider my affliction and trouble, and forgive all my sins. Consider my enemies. They are numerous, and they hate me violently. Guard me and rescue me. Do not let me be disgraced, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and what is right watch over me, for I wait for you. God, redeem Israel from all its distresses. Alrighty. That is it for our reading, and we'll jump into our questions. Question 1. Psalm 22's cry of abandonment shifts to hope and deliverance. How does this movement challenge us to hold fast in the faith in God's faithfulness, even in moments of profound despair? Looking at this, especially with this question, looking at Psalm 22 through the lens of the crucifixion. Imagine the disciples not knowing what was coming, not knowing what to expect. The crucifixion was there. They saw this man that they had followed, they had dedicated their lives to for several years at this point. They were expecting him to come and be this king to overthrow the Roman Empire, and he's done. He's dead. They just watched him die. This question, imagine holding fast to that faith even in the midst of that. Now, the disciples had no idea what was going on. Some of them went back to what they were doing before. There's all kinds of stuff. But that level of despair, still holding on to the hope that we have in Christ. Question 2. Psalm 23 portrays God as a shepherd who provides and protects. How might this imagery prompt us to reflect on the sufficiency of God's care, anticipating Christ as the good shepherd? I think I talked about this a little bit, and this is kind of something, again, as I've been going through writing this book, there's been a lot of things that kind of stick out there. Resting in God, trusting in God, even in the bad times or the difficult times. It's not always easy, but if you do it right and you get used to doing it, it's easier to do. Trusting God means trusting in his timing, patience, waiting, going at God's place and waiting in going at God's pace and waiting in God's place. Question 3. Psalm 24 exalts God as the King of glory. How does this vision of divine majesty invite us to consider the call to purity and surrender and welcoming his presence into our lives? This is easier to do if we have a better understanding of how bad sin is and how good God is. knowing that we can never actually measure up to it, but we should still be trying to live a life of righteousness and trying to live that out with God. God doing that through us, and as best we can, try to live up to that. That's how we judge others by their fruit. Do we see them living out these things: love, joy, peace, patience? Do we see them living out wickedness and things of that nature? So that is it for today. Appreciate everyone watching up to this point. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If this has been a blessing to you, share it with others. Word of mouth is the best way the podcast spreads, so you could help somebody stick with a daily Bible reading plan if they're looking for something to read along with on a daily basis. And tomorrow we'll be back in Psalms again, and starting off with Psalm 26. So, be good stuff. Don't want to miss out. See you then. Thanks. God bless.